Hi, welcome to this video. So, in this video I wanted to update you guys on a couple of transits going on, as well as some aspects going on that are pretty interesting. And I also wanted to tell you that I got married in Hawaii, and it was awesome, and it was a good wedding, and I also did another video for you guys while I was there, but I also wanted to add another element to it that would make it a little more astrologically based. So I'll probably be posting that at some point. Part of the reason why it's been so long since I've done a video is because I actually got jet lag, and then I actually came down with a cold of sorts, and so I'm still recovering right now. I'm still kind of sick, but I wanted to at least tell you guys what's going on. So Mercury just moved into Gemini on June 12th, and when Mercury's in Gemini, this is a great time for learning and exploring new avenues and taking in new information and new ideas, and just being curious and exploring just all around. Doesn't have to be that deep. It's just kind of more of getting more well-rounded in the knowledge that you already have, and adding more knowledge to your knowledge base even, and yeah, just exploring new things and such. It's also great for communication and for any sort of cerebral activity that you can think of. Word games, just conversing on the phone, text messaging, any kinds of messaging, and talking to people in your neighborhood, talking to your siblings, and enjoying the mental aspects of life. And the other thing that's going on is that Neptune just went retrograde as well on June 13th. So when Neptune's retrograde, this is a time to really explore your inner world and your unconscious mind and your unconscious processes. In fact, this isn't the only indication that this is what we'll be up to during this time, because Chiron is trine Mars and Scorpio right now, and of course Mars is retrograde, and that's even more about inner exploration and especially like uncovering deep-seated emotional stuff and confronting that deep-seated stuff and uncovering secrets and uncovering anything that has been hidden. And Mars is a really good planet for this, because it is like an explorer of sorts. It's like, it's bold, it's unafraid to go into those places. It's a time to find that inner courage to face the darkness and the darkness within yourself. So the other interesting stuff going on too is that there's a yod happening with Uranus and Aries sextiling Venus and the Sun in Gemini, and they are inconjunct to Mars and Scorpio as well. So Uranus and Aries is about the awakening and awakening to who you are, and the Sun and Venus in Gemini is also very aware, because Gemini rules the conscious mind. So it brings things into awareness, and it is more playful about it. It is more curious about it. It's less intense about it. But in conjunct Mars and Scorpio, this is going to be bringing more intensity to it. It's going to be like it is like a delving into, like a diver delving into the ocean, like just going deep, deep under the ocean to pick up that piece of information and bring it out. And Uranus is also about spreading the word. Gemini is about spreading the word. So bringing information and actually bringing it into the awareness of the community or the people around you, and utilizing this information to better things in some sense. Because, well, Uranus is very humanitarian, and Gemini is all about communication, and of course, Venus being there, it is going to bring that element of love, and for the purposes of bringing harmony into our communities. And yeah. And what else is going? Let me look at my thing again here. Oh yes, Pluto is trine to the North Node and Jupiter in Virgo. It's also sextile to the South Node and Neptune, and also kind of Chiron as well, but that's like kind of a far orb, 9 degrees. But yeah, so the trining going on to the North Node and Jupiter with Pluto here, this is also going to be about that similar kind of thing going on, where we're unearthing things. We're coming into a deeper awareness, especially because it's retrograde still, of what's on the inside, and we're bringing that awareness into the outside through this trine to Jupiter and the North Node in Virgo, and moving us towards our evolution. Now with the sextiles going on, with especially with Neptune moving retrograde and to the South Node and Chiron, this is all about karma. This is a karmic debt being paid at this time. There's revelations needing to occur, especially around old wounds, and a need to forgive yourself and others, and to have compassion for people, and to make sure not to go into judgment of others too, because we need to be understanding of those darker places in humanity and those darker places in the entire collective. And people have been brought into this world with different circumstances, different programming set up for them, and it's hard sometimes to move beyond that situational mindset that you got born into, and being kind, being gentle with the people who really haven't been able to move past their karma, but also being gentle with yourself if you haven't moved past your own karma, because there's a lot of karma in our world in general, and all of us have chosen to maybe pick up some other karma from people and to help transform it. So that is a part of this as well, like this going deep within yourself, becoming aware of that karma, and being compassionate and not hard on yourself, but also taking that information that you've learned from that and sharing it with people to help the evolution of everyone. And with Jupiter and Virgo, it has a very idealistic view of how things could be, and it can be very critical at times. So it's important to always aim for that quote-unquote perfection, or and it's not really even perfection, but it's good to aim for something greater than what was. There's nothing wrong with wanting to better yourself. That's what Virgo is about, is improving yourself. Just as long as you're not condemning anyone for not being exactly on the same path in some way or another. So anyway, that's kind of what that's about. So yeah, and then of course there is that whole T-square still pretty dang close, with Neptune square Saturn, and then Jupiter over there. Jupiter's at 15 degrees, Saturn's at 12, and Neptune's at 12. So, of course, with Saturn involved too, it's always, going to be about looking at the beliefs you hold and making sure that you are being true to yourself. and being authentic and being in alignment with the beliefs that you hold. Though if you aren't, it's like, okay, don't be too much of a preacher necessarily sometimes. I have the tendency to be like that, to be too much of a preacher, but it's important to, practice what you preach, and stay as aligned with what you're preaching as you can. And if you can't stay aligned with that preaching, then try not to be over preachy if you can help it. But yes, that's where the authenticity comes in. Just be real, That's what Saturn wants, is for you to be real and to be true, and to eliminate the BS. Don't, basically it's all about eliminating the BS and it's really about going within too, because it's retrograde, and going within yourself and just being honest with yourself, and being honest, and being able to admit when you may have crossed a line or gone too far or been too self-righteous or anything like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to like it, and I will talk to you very soon, and subscribe if you want more.